Good evening, everyone. My name is Pastor Alex, and welcome to St. Luke's, and thank you for attending this concert presented by the Bottle Band. If you have not already turned off your cell phones, please leave them on. We would not want you to be inconvenienced and miss an important phone call or not important phone call because you were at a St. Luke's Bottle Band concert. But in all seriousness, please do turn them off this evening and other electronic devices that may distract the high quality that is the Bottle Band. If you are the person that left your lightsaber out on the atrium floor, I ask you to retrieve it at this time. That is a very dangerous item, and someone could trip or be injured. Well now, we've reached that time. Let's make some noise. And now, please welcome the world famous, or some would say infamous, St. Luke's Bottle Band.
We want to welcome you to our concert. We are so glad that you could be here. We make our music blowing on bottles, bottles that once were filled up with beer. There's a bottle in our band that comes from Wisconsin, the heroic line in Kugel line. But the evil dark beer bottle of Guinness now is here, and the two of them will soon begin to fight. Which one is stronger? Which one is braver? Which of the two will claim victory? What's going to happen? How will this war end? Who will the winner be? Welcome to Bottle Wars. The Farce Awakens.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Paul Phillips. I'm the founder and conductor of the St. Luke's Bottle Band. And on behalf of all the members of the group, we want to thank you for being here tonight for this concert. The theme of the program tonight, as you know, is The Farce Awakens. And we're hoping that we can awaken a deeper appreciation of farce in all of you tonight through the pieces that we play for you. I know there are some familiar faces in the audience tonight, but I'm curious to know how many of you here will be experiencing the Bottle Band for the first time. Can you just raise your hand if you're, oh, good, several here. That's great. We're always delighted when we can expand the musical horizons of a large percentage of our audience. So I think we'll be able to do that tonight. The first piece on our program is called the Liberty Bell March, and it was written by probably the most famous of all American composers of marches, John Philip Sousa. Interestingly enough, Sousa wrote this piece not as a march to begin with. He wrote the melodies down and was going to put them in an operetta that he was composing. He fancied himself as kind of a light opera composer as well as marches. And that never materialized, and a friend of his saw some exhibit on the Liberty Bell and said, you know, you ought to make that into a march and call it the Liberty Bell. So that's what he did. But that's not the reason we're going to play it for you tonight. Some of you may recall a very popular TV show in the 1970s from Britain called Monty Python's Flying Circus. Sounds like you remember that show. And if you recall, the theme song of that TV show was the Liberty Bell March. So we thought since they were such innovators in the field of farce that we would kind of dedicate this song to them. So that's why we're playing it tonight. I'd like to introduce now our soloists for this piece. First of all, please welcome our principal violinist and concertmaster, Miss Trudy Yehudi. And then our principal kazooist and vocalist, a woman who really needs no introduction, but she insists on having a rather grandiose one anyway. Please welcome the beautiful, charming, and extremely talented Betty Sue Lou Fleming. In addition to performing with the Bottle Band, Betty Sue Lou also teaches music appreciation at the Illinois College of Podiatry here in Chicago. And then we have one more soloist for this piece. When a band plays the Liberty Bell March, they oftentimes actually have somebody ringing a bell as part of the instrumentation. So we thought we would do that tonight. And we have with us probably the most well-known bell ringer in all of literature. Please welcome Quasimodo, the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Okay. Okay, so here we go now with our bottle band arrangement of the Liberty Bell March dedicated to Monty Python's Flying Circus. Thank you, thank you. For those of you that are not familiar with Monty Python's Flying Circus, I should probably explain about the foot. The opening sequence of the television show always started with an animated minute or two of very strange images floating across the screen, and the march would be playing, and then suddenly everything would come to an abrupt halt as this giant foot came down and squished the head of a man in the animated section. So that's why we put the foot into our version tonight. The next piece we're going to play, I should say, is also a march, but it's a very different kind of march than Sousa's Liberty Bell. This is a march written by John Williams, probably the most well-known composer of film music today in America. John Williams has written all kinds of music for films, all the Star Wars movies, Jaws, E.T., the list goes on and on. He's won numerous Academy Awards. And this is a piece he wrote back in 1981, I think, or 80, for The Empire Strikes Back. It's called the Imperial March. And it's a very military, kind of almost sinister-sounding piece of music. And it became associated with Darth Vader and the stormtroopers, the soldiers who have those white uniforms on and come marching in. So we're going to play this piece for you tonight, and our arrangement is going to feature the instrument we call the bottlephone. The bottlephone is an instrument, well, it's the instrument there on the middle row of tables. It sounds something like a xylophone, and it looks something like a bar. And it's played very much like handbells. Each player has a certain number of bottles to hit at just the right time to get the desired melody. So this piece is going to feature the bottlephone, as well as the blowers and Trudy Yehudi. So here is our bottle band arrangement of John Williams' Imperial March. Thank you. Thank you very much. I was reading about this piece, doing some research for the concerts, and I discovered that the Imperial March is often used in very different situations. Obviously, it's a very military-sounding piece, so college football bands play it during football games to inspire their team to play harder. It's also used by the Chicago Bulls and the New York Yankees when the opposing team is introduced, because that signifies kind of the evil opponent. Probably the most fascinating thing, though, I found out that John Part, his name is, the three-time world darts champion, uses this piece when he comes into the room where the darts championship is being held. I've never associated that piece with darts before, but I guess it helps him. He's the three-time world champion. So, and I'm sure John Williams is quite amused by all the ways that this piece has been rearranged, including our performance tonight. I understand he's still accepting commissions for orchestras and whatnot. He's 84 years old, still going strong, so I think I might actually contact him sometime and see if he'd like to write a piece for the Bottle Band. I'd be real curious to know what he comes up with. Well, we're going to switch gears a little bit, speaking of new pieces. This next piece is one that I wrote, especially for tonight's concert. The inspiration came about when I was down in New Orleans a few years ago, and I was quite impressed with all the jazz street bands that they have playing on Bourbon Street. If you walk up and down the street, there's a band almost every block, and the music is everywhere. It's quite a party city. And I heard some really wonderfully sounding pieces of jazz music, especially blues pieces. So I came back and I wrote out this little song for the Bottle Band, the title of which is I Blew My Blues Away. And of course, our soloist for this piece will be none other than Miss Betty Sue Lou Fleming. Betty Sue Lou. Miss Fleming is regarded as one of the premier blues interpreters in all of northern Cook County. And she will begin the piece by herself, but will be joined by other musicians from the Bottle Band as the piece progresses. So here is the world premiere of I Blew My Blues Away.
Well, I woke up this morning and I was feeling mighty blue. I felt so miserable, I did not know what to do. But then I picked up my bottles and this is what I blew. Well, then some friends came over and started to play along. It didn't take long for us to improvise a brand new song. And soon I felt much better and all my troubles were gone. Because I blew my blues away. Oh yes, I blew my blues away. Now I am ready to face another day.
Thank you. People that come to bottle band concerts are often curious about the kind of bottles that we use in the bottle band, so I'd like to take just a couple of minutes to tell you about the bottles we play on. There are two basic types of bottles that we use. The higher notes are played on the standard 12-ounce brown beer bottles that you see played by the people in the front row there. After we empty the bottles of their contents, we then glue them together in sets of 5 and refill them with different amounts of water to get the pitches that we need. The official bottle of the bottle band, by the way, is the Leinenkugels from Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. We find that the Leinenkugels gives us the best tone quality out of all the hundreds of brands that we have sampled. Then the lower notes are played on the 1.5 liter green sangria bottles, wine bottles in the back row. Some people refer to these as jugs, but we like to stay away from that term if possible. Now you may find this hard to believe, but bottles do wear out after you play them for a while, very much like the reed on a clarinet or an oboe. And so we find that we do have to replace our bottles at fairly regular intervals. In fact, I would say that well over 50% of our rehearsal time is devoted to the preparation of new instruments. Now, you've heard people blowing on the bottles, and you've heard the bottleophone, where you hit the bottle with a mallet. This next piece is going to feature the third technique that we use to produce music on the bottles, and that is the art of plucking the bottle. It's where you put your finger in the top of the bottle and snap it out at just the right moment. And so we're getting our plucker table set up here, and the plucker people will be coming out with their bottles shortly. The piece we're going to play for you is it's a charming little piece from Austria by a man named Joseph Hillmesberger. It was written about 100 years ago. It's called the Light-Footed Polka. It's very fast, and when the bottle blowers have to play this piece, they sometimes refer to it as the light-headed polka, because it makes them a little dizzy. But it's a charming little piece that you often hear played on those New Year's Day concerts that they have from the Vienna Philharmonic. You know, it's got that certain Viennese charm to it. And as I said, it's going to feature the pluckers. You notice they're playing on green beer bottles. These are Beck's bottles from Germany, imported. Interestingly enough, the Becks have a slightly smaller bore, so that's just a little bit easier to pluck them like that. So this piece is going to feature the pluckers and the bottlephone. It's what we call a piece of pure bottle band music. By that I mean that the bottle is the only instrument used in this piece. No violin, kazoo, singer, just the bottles. The blowers, the bottlephone, and the pluckers. So here's our arrangement of the Light-Footed Polka. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, while we're getting ready for the next piece, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to conduct a little survey of the audience. It's very helpful for us to get a sense of who's in our audience for these shows for our marketing department. So just answer these questions as best as you can. I've already asked who's here for the first time at a bottle band concert. How many of you here tonight have been to 2 bottle band concerts? This would be your second concert. Okay, some here. How many of you here tonight have been to 3 or more bottle band concerts? Oh, good, quite a few. How many of you are here today because a friend invited you to come along? Some here. Oh, quite a few. That's great. How many of you are here today because a friend forced you to come along? Yes, well, we thank those of you who forced your friends to come along. How many of you traveled at least 10 miles to get here tonight? Quite a few, okay. How many of you traveled at least 25 miles to get here tonight? Oh, some here. That's great. Is there anybody here tonight from out of state? Some here. Where are you from? Minnesota. Wow, that's great. Did you come here just to hear us? No. Okay, that's all right. Anybody else? Anybody I missed? Okay, that's great. Well, thank you for coming from Minnesota. That's terrific. Now, these last 3 questions are a little more personal, so try to answer them as best you can. How many of you consider yourselves to be musically inclined? You like to listen to music, you go to concerts? All right, quite a few. How many of you consider yourselves to be musically advanced? You play an instrument, you sing in a choir? Okay, quite a few. How many of you consider yourselves to be musically challenged? Yes, I know about them. Well, thank you. That's very helpful for us to put into our database. So we appreciate that. I mentioned earlier that quite a bit of our rehearsal time is devoted to the preparation of new instruments, but we do have other sources for getting new bottles in our band. We call them suppliers, you might say. And one of them is a fellow who owns a bar in Chicago. His name is Joe. And he's done such great work helping us get bottles for the band that we thought we would invite him to come here tonight and be a part of our show. So please welcome now, we just call him very affectionately, Joe the bartender. A few years ago, Joe got this idea of inviting some of his regular customers to come in once in a while and spend some time making bottles just for the bottle band. And they've been doing that for a number of years. They're extremely dedicated and quite good at. So we thought we'd invite them to come along too. So please welcome now 5 of Joe the bartender's most regular customers. As you can see, this is quite a diverse group. They are not particularly musically gifted, but they're extremely proficient at emptying bottles, which is why Joe uses them for this task. So what we're going to do is do an arrangement of a piece from the popular musical Les Miserables. You may recall there's an innkeeper in the story who sings a piece called Master of the House. Joe is not at all like the master of the house in that show, who's kind of a shady character. Joe's a great guy. But the music really fits well, and Joe sees himself as kind of the master of his little bar here, his house. So we're going to take that piece and rearrange it and write new lyrics for it. And you may recall that in Les Miserables, the wife of the innkeeper also takes part in that song. So we thought we should invite the wife of Joe the bartender to be here tonight too. So please welcome Josephina, Joe's wife. So here is our rearrangement of Master of the House, which we're calling Bottles for the Band.
Welcome, my friends, how do you do? I'm glad to see so many of you. Now that you're here, we can commence making a batch of new instruments. It's a taxing job, very strenuous, but someone's got to do it, so why not us? Bottles for the band, that is what we make. Once we start, we do not even take a break. And we never stop until our work is through. Sometimes we remain here for a week or two. We are very dedicated, and we take a lot of pride, making sure the bottle band is always very well supplied. Bottles that are green, bottles that are clear, bottles that are filled with Line Kugel beer, bottles of all shapes, every different kind. Pick up Mrs. Butterworth and blow her mind. Everybody loves to work here, everybody thinks it's grand. Everybody loves to make bottles for the bottle band.
I kinda knew my husband was awfully strange. I've given up all hope of getting him to change. Master of the house always aims to please. He takes good care of all his loyal employees. But we don't make a dime. That's because my spouse never charges for the drinks there on the house. But I am his wife, so I will give the guy a helping hand. Here's another instrument for your crazy bottle band.
Bottles that are big,
Bottles that are small, bottles that are short, and bottles that are tall.
bottles that are brown, bottles that are blue.
Even bottles that were filled with Mountain Dew.
Everybody loves to work here, everybody thinks it's grand.
Hey, let's all raise a toast to our philanthropic host.
Everybody loves to make bottles for the bottle band.
Thank you very much. Well, we're delighted to be able to announce to you that the Bottle Band will be performing at Ravinia this year. The date is December 27th. So you may want to bring some extra blankets if you choose to sit out on the lawn. We also want you to know that many members of the Bottle Band do teach privately in their homes. If you'd like to start taking lessons on the bottle, or start one of your children out on the bottle, start them out playing on the bottle, I should say. I know a lot of parents are reluctant to spend a great deal of money on a new trumpet or violin, But for the cost of a six-pack, you can get your child started in music. We also have a Suzuki bottle band here at the church for the very young ones. They play in those little airline liquor bottles you got. Really adorable to watch. And we think that really no child is too young to start being exposed to bottle band music. So even in our nursery, we have this set of training bottles, just so the kids can get used to holding a set of bottles in their hand for future use. So if you're interested in any of those things, please talk to anybody in the bottle band after the performance tonight. Well, as you know, 2016 is the year of the Olympic Games, the Summer Olympic Games. They're being held in Rio de Janeiro, hopefully. They've had some troubles down there in a number of ways, but hopefully the games will begin when they should in August. Unfortunately, you know, that Chicago was one of the 3 finalists a few years ago when they selected Rio de Janeiro. I think it was Madrid and Chicago were the other 2 runners-up. And I started thinking, what would it have been like if Chicago had been given the offer to host the Olympic Games in 2016? So what we'd like you to do is just kind of sit back and imagine yourselves sitting out at a brand new stadium in Chicago. The games are here. It's a beautiful night. It's the opening night of the Olympics, and there's athletes from all over the world has come to Chicago. The stadium is now filled with the athletes that have marched in, and it's that magic moment when the Olympic torch is brought in to the stadium. And who better to bring it in Chicago than Mayor Rahm Emanuel.
Oh come, Rahm Emanuel, and do your best to run Chicago well. Make sure that all is harmonious, because the whole world now is watching us. Rejoice, rejoice, the torch has been brought in. Now light the flames and let the games begin. Chicago is hosting the Olympic Games. It's opening night, we've got lots of big names. Please welcome President Obama and also Hillary Clinton. Of course, Donald Trump and Oprah are both here too. Let's hope that our city can handle the stress. For 3 weeks the traffic will be a mess, but We know the games will help us forget how much our city now is in debt. But tonight, though, Chicago's a success. Yes, tonight, though, Chicago's a success.
Thank you. And no, Oprah is not giving a car away to everybody in the audience tonight. Well, all successful musical organizations have to have a support group behind them, and the Bottle Band is no exception. We've been in existence for 37 years, and for most of that time, however, there's only been one member of the Friends of the Bottle Band. So we refer to it as the Friend of the Bottle Band, and that is Mr. Craig Moen. Earlier this year, however, Craig, who has labored for 37 years, decided that he would try to use the internet to see if he could spur membership in the Friends of the Bottle Band. So he made a YouTube video, created a website, sent out some emails to a few people he knew, especially in the music industry, and things started to escalate. And you know how that can go on the internet. Things grow exponentially. People send it on to their friends, so on. For some reason, Craig's story of having been a friend of the Bottle Band for 37 years and not having any other friends touched people, and so they started to join up and send it on to their friends, so on and so forth. So as of this morning, Craig Moen, who had no friends for 37 years, has 6,845,232 friends. Now, those of you that have been here to these concerts before know that this is the moment when Craig would usually come out and make an appeal to see if he could get people to join. He'd have various premiums, but he doesn't need to do that anymore because he has so many friends. He's moved his headquarters to Las Vegas. He has a new office building, a staff of 55, and so he's not here tonight. But you may recall that as part of his presentation, we would always have a little contest, a little guessing game contest, using a bottle filled with candy. And we're going to do that tonight, even though Craig is not here. So we have this large bottle that's partially filled with pieces of candy, and we would like you at intermission to make a guess as to how many pieces you think are in that bottle. And we will announce the winners during the second half of the program. And during the intermission, we'll also be serving refreshments down in the atrium over here. So we encourage you to go down there. There's no charge for the refreshments, but we're just asking for donations. All donations will go toward assisting the youth this year as they go on a mission trip later this summer. And I'd like to introduce one of those people to you right now. Please welcome one of our St. Luke's youth, Madison. Would you come out here and give her a hand, please? Now, you're going on a mission trip to where?
We're going to Oaks, Oklahoma.
Oaks, Oklahoma. And you're going to be doing what?
We're going to learn about the Cherokee by immersing ourselves in their culture.
That's great. And for how long will that be?
5 days.
5 days. Wow, that's terrific. My understanding is you have enough money to get down there, but not enough to get back. So we don't want to leave them stranded, so please be as generous as you can. And Madison, I'm going to ask you to take the bottle with you down there and put it on the table. It's kind of heavy. Got it? Okay, great. Thank you, Madison. Give her a hand here. Please take your time, have a relaxing intermission. We have some rehearsing to do for the second act, so no need to hurry up. Well, we come now to the final piece on the first half of our program, which is a piece we're calling A March by Tchaikovsky. We've done a number of pieces by Tchaikovsky over the years, selections from the Nutcracker, even the 1812 Overture, parts of it. This is a piece that actually comes from one of his symphonies, Symphony Number 6. It's the march from the third movement. And it's one of my favorite symphonic pieces, and I always wanted to do an arrangement of it for the bottle band. So that's what I did for this year's program. This is the march from Tchaikovsky's Sixth Symphony. It's scored for 4 pluckers again, and the bottlephone, Trudy Hooty on the violin, our percussion section. It starts out very quietly, but it ends up with a tremendous climax, very exciting piece. So here's the last work on the first half of our program. We're simply calling it Tchaikovsky's March. Shouldn't empty bottles at intermission, I guess. Well, thank you, and welcome back for the second half of our program. Hope you had a good intermission. Over the past 37 years that we've been doing this, we've done a number of dance pieces with the Bottle Band. And two of my favorites are, the first one is the Parade of the Wooden Soldiers, which you may know as the piece that the Rockettes do at Radio City Music Hall at Christmas time. And the other one is a dance number from the musical Fiddler on the Roof, the dance that takes place during the wedding, where the men get together and dance. So we've done both of those, and I wanted to do both of them tonight, but we didn't have room for both. So what I did was combine the two pieces into one. We weren't sure whether to call it Soldiers Fiddling Around on the Roof or Fiddlers Parading Around Like They're Soldiers. So we are just calling it Parade of the Wooden Soldiers / Fiddler on the Roof. And here is our arrangement of those two pieces now. Thank you. Thank you. We do have a Bottle Band website associated with our church, so if you want to visit that sometime, you're welcome to do that. We're having a sale on books this month pertaining to the Bottle Band, so I brought a few with me just to give you an idea of what we have available. If you're curious about how we put the Bottle Band together, how we write the music, tune the bottles, etc., we have this book called The Complete Idiot's Guide to the Bottle Band, which has a lot of very technical information in it. If you're more interested in inspirational literature, we have Chicken Soup for the Plucker's Soul. And then if you're interested in music history, and we actually have a musicologist in the Bottle Band who received a grant a year ago to do some work on the life of Ludwig van Beethoven, the great German composer. They apparently found some unknown notes and manuscripts that were never seen before, and so she was allowed to look through those, and it was her contention that Beethoven actually did write some music for a bottle band. He and his friends would get together on weekends and have a little party, and of course it was kept very quiet, but She documents all this in her book, which is called Beethoven's Other Fifth. So it's quite fascinating reading. So, our next piece is an interesting one. It was originally written for 3 trumpets. It's a piece called Bugler's Holiday by the great American popular music composer Leroy Anderson. Leroy Anderson wrote The Sleigh Ride, and he loved to do pieces with odd instruments like the typewriter and things like that. And he wrote this piece for 3 trumpets, calling it Bugler's Holiday. And I've made an arrangement for the bottle band, and we, of course, call it Bottler's Holiday. It's going to feature the bottlephone players. There are 8 of them this time. And it's a really fun piece. When it was written for trumpets, of course, trumpets can play very fast. They can do what they call double tonguing to get really quick notes. It's a little trickier on the bottlephone, but they do a great job with it. And because it was written for trumpets, you'll hear at the very end of the piece a little reference to the bugle call that you hear at a racetrack before they start one of the races. So here's our bottle band arrangement of Bugler's Holiday, which we call Bottler's Holiday. Thank you. Well, you may have already heard this in the newspaper or on radio and TV, but I want to remind everyone that President Obama has declared that the month of June is Bottle Band Awareness Month. So we're going to be going out in small groups to community centers, libraries, liquor stores, and doing little demonstrations about what you can do with a bottle as far as making music is concerned. So in conjunction with that, the United States Post Office is going to be issuing a commemorative stamp honoring the bottle band. And so I brought a copy of it with me tonight. You can see it right here. There's a picture of Betty Sulu Fleming on it in kind of a Statue of Liberty pose, holding a bottle high above her head, and a picture of Beethoven on it. And then there's the Latin motto of the bottle band, E musicus voidum, which means music out of empties. So if you're in the post office and need stamps, ask for the bottle band commemorative stamps. Well, we're going to return now to our theme of Star Wars. And as you know, Star Wars is all about battles, the battle between good and evil, light and dark, Packers, Bears, whatever. So we're going to feature two of our percussion players. Percussion players tend to be kind of stuffed back in the back. You don't see them very often. So we want to bring them out in front. And since the Star Wars music is so filled with percussion, we thought it would be appropriate to have them play this particular piece. It's actually a medley of two of the pieces you've heard already, the main theme from Star Wars and the Imperial March. So please now welcome our two opponents, you might say, for this particular piece. First of all, please welcome in this corner, playing a drum weighing 21.4 pounds. Please welcome Mr. Jedi Master Ben Heim. And in this corner, playing a drum weighing 24.5 pounds, Mr. Darth Q. Darth Q. Okay, take your places, gentlemen. So this piece will feature our percussion players, and it's what we're calling our Star Wars medley. Thank you. Thank you. Well, it's time to find out now how you all did on the guessing game contest and who the winners are. So I have the envelope here with the 3 winners. Let me open it up. Whoops. There were actually 941 pieces of candy in the bottle. And we have 3 winners. The third place winner, with a guess of 975, only 34 off, is Judy Phelps. Judy, are you here? Judy, come on up. Give her a hand. Judy. Come on up, Judy. Congratulations. Nice job. Step up here on the podium, if you would. I see you really like the limelight, don't you?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay. Well, you did well. Okay, in second place, with a guess of 926, only 15 off, Katie Romansky. Go. Katie, where are you? Shove this away. Katie, oh, I see 2 people here. Is this Katie? Oh, come on up here. Great. Congratulations. Way to go. Stand over here. Get a little closer. And then in first place, with a guess of 937, which is only 4 off, is Carol Branca. Or Branca? Carol, all right. Congratulations, Carol. Come on up here. Great job. Well, that was very impressive, only 4 off. Okay, so we have 3 prizes. Let's see. Yeah, Katie, stand this way, face the audience. I know you're a little shy, but there you go. Okay, we have 3 prizes. First of all, in third place, for third prize, we have this wonderful bottle of pink lemonade from Trader Joe's. So that'll be ours. That goes to Judy. In second place, Katie, do you like pancakes? Do you? Good. Well, we have a bottle of Mrs. Butterworth's pancake syrup for you. And we have a special bonus for Katie. Lisa, I think we should give, yes. We, of course, the theme is Star Wars, so we have this very special Star Wars candy dispenser. Push it, look at that. And if you show them how it works, if you open the back, there's a little package of M&Ms inside. So I'm sure your mother's going to be real pleased about all this. Calories galore and sugar. There you go. Push the button. There you go. Okay, and Carol, first prize. We want to do something kind of related to Star Wars. The closest we could come was Starbucks. So we have a $10 gift certificate for something at Starbucks, so you can have that. Let's give them all a hand here. Thank you. There you go. Thank you. And thanks for participating in the contest. We appreciate that. Well, we come now to the final work on our program. Before we do that, I would like to mention that this is the second weekend of our shows. We have another show tomorrow night, as well as one on Sunday afternoon, so there are still tickets available for both of those performances if you'd like to spread the word to your friends or even come back again yourself. That would be great. We appreciate you being here, and this is the final work on our program now, which is actually we're calling it a musical. Many years ago, you know, Andrew Lloyd Webber wrote a musical called Cats, and we decided that if he could do that, we could write one called Cows. This was back a few years ago, you may recall, when Chicago had the Cows on Parade and there were cow statues all over the city. That was one inspiration. Also, you may remember the cartoons by Gary Larson, the Farce cartoons. He would often have cows standing upright and making jokes, so we kind of took that image. So we put together this little musical, which is made up of several Broadway tunes that you've heard from very popular Broadway shows, and wrote new lyrics for them, which express the way cows might have expressed themselves had they had the ability to sing. So this will be the final work on our program. We want to thank you again for being here. You've been a terrific audience. Hope to see you again sometime. And now our final work, Cows.
In Texas, where the scenery is beautiful, I just love to go out stampeding. I enjoy being a bull. I know I am kind of rowdy, and my manners are terrible. In a china shop I'm not welcome, but I enjoy being a bull. Sometimes I am cooped up in a barnyard, and I feel like I'm gonna go berserk. I can't wait until the breeding season. That's the time of the year I really love my work. A horse has to carry riders, and an ox has a cart to pull. But I don't have to do a darn thing, just enjoy strutting being a blowhorn bull. Oh, if I were a rich bull, I'd dig a diddle diddle dooby dooby doo. All day long I'd mooga mooga moo. If I were a wealthy bull, I wouldn't have to work hard. I'd dig a diddle diddle dooby dooby doo. Shoot the bull 4 hours at a time. Mooga mooga yabba dabba doo. I'd build a barn with air conditioning and a high-def digital TV. I'd have a boat where I could relax. I would shoot golf with Derek Rose and the other bulls who are wealthy just like me. I'd buy imported hay to eat for snacks. If I were a rich bull, I'd dig a diddle diddle dooby dooby doo. Would it really be so terrible if my assets were more plentiful? It would make my life more wonderful if I were a wealthy bull.
There were bulls on the hill, but I never heard them snorting. No, I never heard them at all till there was you. There were flies all around, but I never heard them buzzing. No, I never heard them at all till there was you. And there were Angus and big burly longhorns from Texas and Holsteins with sweet, gentle faces of black and white. There were bulls all around, but I never saw them grazing. No, I never saw them at all till there was you.
I could have grazed all night, I could have grazed all night, and still have eaten more. I could have chewed and chewed, digested lots of food I never had before. I'll never know how I became so hungry. Why, I ate everything in sight. I must have put away about a ton of hay. I could have grazed. All night.
Milking time, and the walking ain't easy. Got a feeling that I'm gonna explode.
Gonna explode.
Gotta get me to a milking machine. I know I'll feel better when I can unload. Oh yeah.
Well, I'm calling. Whoa.
I will answer you.
Well, I'm calling. Whoa.
I will answer you.
I have been sent here from Canada to greet with you.
I have been waiting for years. Let's see what we can do.
We will raise a calf that is gentle and sweet, and it will be tender and juicy to eat. We'll create beef that's delicious to chew. Well, I'm calling moo.
There's just a few more hours, the time is flying by. A few more hours until I say goodbye. Cause I'm getting slaughtered in the morning. Man, the axe is gonna fall. They're gonna slice me very precisely in sections that are really small. It's time for me to go to market. Now that they think I'm nice and plump. Some farmer bred me, watered and fed me, and soon someone will roast my rump.
Some of his good parts will make a stew.
Some of his bad parts will turn into glue.
Oh, he's getting slaughtered in the morning.
Ding dong, the cowbells all will chime. Fry me or broil me, but don't let them spoil me. So get me to the jewel on time. I've had a good life, don't get me wrong. But now it's time for me to say so long.
Oh, he's getting slaughtered in the morning.
My ribs are gonna all be prime. Be sure to inspect me and pack me correctly. So get me to the jewel, keep me nice and cool. Be sure to get me to the jewel.
Let's get into the jewel on time.
Do you hear the cattle sing, singing a song for you today? It is the music of a species that does not have much to say.
But we're proud of who we are,
And we are proud of what we do, though we are limited to making the sound of moo.
But when we get on the stage like this and hear the bottles blow, there's a transformation in us and the words begin to flow. And all of a sudden we're singing a song from a show.
Do you hear the cattle sing, singing a song for you today? It is the music of a species that does not have much to say. But we're proud of who we are, and we are proud of what we do, though we are limited to making the sound of moo.
We supply the butter for your bread and for your pies and cakes, and the cheese for all your cheeseburgers,
And milk for all your shakes.
And some of us know that we're gonna be turned into steaks.
Do you hear the cattle sing, singing a song for you today? It is the music of a species that does not have much to say. But we're proud of who we are, and we are proud of what we do, though we are limited to making the sound of moo. Moo.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. We want to do the encore now. So we're having a cast party. We want to get out of here as soon as we can. So. No, seriously, thank you very much. You were a great audience. We appreciate you being here. We do have a little encore prepared. It sort of goes back again to our Star Wars theme. So here is our encore.
This is our encore.
This is our last song.
This is the final piece we will play.
Soon it will be time for you to go home.
Thank you for coming.
Have a nice day.
We would love to keep on singing many more songs for you, but the bottle players would complain.
If they blow too much, we know they will hyperventilate.
And they'll lose a lot of cells inside their brain.
So we must now say, auf Wiedersehen.
Cheerio.
Ta-ta.
Shalom to you.
Sayonara.
Adios.
So long.
And may the Farce be with you.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Drive safely.